What if I told you there's a silent disaster unfolding across America?
Americans are not winning their battle against obesity.
17 pounds. I can't handle it anymore.
And this is what I've dealt with my whole. When I look in the mirror, I see disappointment. I feel disgust.
I know my body's not going to handle everything I'm going to put it through today. I just feel like, it's time. Just suck it up, Buttercup. It's time to go. Got to get this done. My problem is I don't want to eat.
Janine, you're 54 years and you're 500 plus pounds, and you think you're not want to eating is a problem?
Hello, my name is Xiomara Laura.
What can I do for you?
I got a pretty big order, so
Okay, not a problem.
the first one I'm gonna get the lumberjack slam pack, one of those ultimate omelets. And can I get cheese in my hash browns with that one? Getting in the shower is probably the second hardest thing I put myself through in the day because I'm too big for the bathroom. And then it's hard to get water over most of my body. I have to move around to get it all over me. And that's before I've even tried to wash the areas I need, like under my folds and stuff where I have the biggest problem staying clean.
The disaster that doesn't make the screaming headlines every single day, but is steadily eroding the health, happiness, and future of millions. Forget earthquakes or floods for a moment. This crisis is growing, quite literally within us. Did you know that in some parts of the country, nearly half the adult population is now classified as obese? Not just overweight, but obese. Think about that for a second. What does that really mean for those individuals, for their families, for the healthcare system, and for the nation as a whole?
We're spending $150 billion a year treating obesity-related illnesses, so we know this is a problem and there's a lot at stake.
We're talking about a tidal wave of chronic diseases, shortened lifespans, and dreams cut short. Today, we're not just looking at numbers, we're looking at a severe health emergency. We are going to journey through 10 states where this crisis is reaching a terrifying peak. Is your state on the list? Are you, or is someone you love, unknowingly caught in this escalating problem? Stay with us, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see your own health and the health of your community forever. This isn't about blame, it's about a wake-up call. Did you know that more than 40% of American adults are currently living with obesity? That's over 100 million people whose daily lives and long-term health are affected by this condition.
But I'm here to tell you that I am in desperate need of help. I have been out of work. I have been looking for work. And now it's come to the point where I am about to be homeless. I'm behind on my rent. I don't have help. And I am still struggling with this obesity epidemic.
And while obesity is a nationwide concern, some states are facing particularly severe challenges. Obesity isn't just about appearance. It's a complex medical condition that increases the risk of serious health problems like heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers.
An excellent problem, but that's simply not true. You would have lost a lot more weight.
So if I don't want to eat them, it's not a problem?
The good news: understanding the problem is the first step towards solving it, and that's exactly what we're doing today. In this video, we'll explore the 10 states with the highest obesity rates in America. We'll look at what's causing these high rates, how they're affecting people's health and the economy, and what's being done to address the problem. Have you ever wondered why some regions struggle more with obesity than others? By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of this complex issue. Let's start our journey with the state that currently holds the unfortunate distinction of having the highest obesity rate in the nation: West Virginia. When you think of West Virginia, you might picture beautiful mountains, and winding country roads. But beneath this beautiful landscape lies a serious health crisis. With an obesity rate between 41.2% and 41.7%, West Virginia has the highest percentage of adults with obesity in the entire country. That's more than 4 out of every 10 adults. And what's even more concerning, if current trends continue, this rate is projected to climb to a staggering 58% by 2030. The health consequences in West Virginia are severe. The state has the highest type 2 diabetes rate in the nation at 15.7%, and heart disease deaths significantly exceed the national average. Why is this happening? West Virginia's mountainous terrain actually plays a role. It limits walkability and active transportation options. The state also struggles with poverty, with a 17.8% poverty rate that's among the highest in the nation. This economic hardship means many residents have limited access to healthy foods, with 54 out of 55 counties having areas designated as food deserts. Traditional Appalachian cuisine, which tends to be high in calories and fat, also contributes to the problem. The economic toll is substantial. Healthcare expenses from obesity are estimated to reach $2.8 billion annually in West Virginia. That's nearly $8,000 per person per year related to obesity. Can you imagine the impact this has on the state's budget and economy? Despite these challenges, West Virginians are fighting back. The state has implemented several initiatives, including the Cardiac Project, which screens school children for cardiovascular risk factors and provides follow-up interventions for families. There's also the SCALE program, offering free weight loss support for low-income residents. Would it surprise you to learn that despite having the highest obesity rate, West Virginia has some of the most beautiful hiking trails in the nation, including portions of the Appalachian Trail, yet trail usage by residents is among the lowest of states along the trail. It's a striking example of how having resources doesn't always translate to using them. Mississippi. Moving south, let's talk about Mississippi, which holds the second highest obesity rate at 40% to 41%. While these numbers are troubling, there's actually a bit of good news here. Mississippi has improved its ranking in recent years, moving from 50th to 45th in obesity rankings nationwide. Mississippi faces serious health challenges related to obesity. The state has the second highest diabetes and cardiovascular disease mortality rate in the U.S. The impact is particularly pronounced among certain demographics. Young females in Mississippi have the highest combined overweight obesity rate in the nation at 63%, and adult women have rates approaching 80%.
Legitimately, and I was at 811 pounds.
Have you ever considered how geographic and demographic factors might influence health outcomes? Why is obesity so prevalent in Mississippi? The state has the highest poverty rate in the nation at 19.1%, creating significant barriers to healthy eating and active lifestyles. Food insecurity affects 15.3% of households, and 70% of counties contain food desert areas. The hot, humid climate discourages outdoor activity for much of the year, and traditional Southern cuisine often features calorie-dense fried foods and sugary dishes. The economic burden is substantial, with obesity-related healthcare costs projected to reach $3.9 billion by 2030. But Mississippi isn't standing idle. The state has developed a comprehensive obesity action plan with specific goals and strategies, including programs like Growing Healthy Waves, which connects local farmers with school cafeterias. Did you know that despite having one of the highest obesity rates, Mississippi actually has more farms per capita than most states? Yet many residents still lack access to fresh produce, a paradox that highlights the complexity of the problem. Arkansas. Next on our list is Arkansas, with an obesity rate of 40.5%. Unlike Mississippi, Arkansas has seen a concerning trend, a statistically significant increase in obesity rates between 2022-23. The state has experienced a 33.3% increase in adult obesity since 2011, and 23% of school-age children have obesity, while another 17% are classified as overweight. The health implications are serious, with diabetes increasing by a shocking 26% from 2021 to 2022 alone. Arkansas also has high cardiovascular mortality rates at 224 deaths per 100,000 people. Contributing factors include the state's rural landscape with limited healthcare access, a 16.3% poverty rate, and an agricultural economy paradoxically focused on commodity crops rather than fruits and vegetables. Have you noticed how some agricultural states seem to have higher rather than lower obesity rates? It's a fascinating contradiction worth exploring. Arkansas was actually a pioneer in addressing childhood obesity in 2003. It became the first state in the nation to implement mandatory BMI screenings in schools. Today, initiatives like Healthy Active Arkansas, a governor-led program with a 10-year framework, are working to increase the percentage of Arkansans at a healthy weight. The city of Batesville offers a success story, where the mayor implemented comprehensive changes including greenway trails, community centers, and a sports complex, resulting in improved community health metrics. Did you know that despite Arkansas's high obesity rates, the state has more miles of recreational trails per capita than most other southern states? This suggests that infrastructure alone isn't enough to change behavior. Cultural and educational factors play crucial roles too. Louisiana. Louisiana ranks fourth with an obesity rate of 39.9%. The trend is concerning, with rates having increased from 38.1% in 2020 to 40.1% in 2022. Even more alarming, projections suggest that by 2050, nearly all of Louisiana's adults and the majority of the state's teenagers could be overweight or obese if current trends continue. Can you imagine the strain this would place on the healthcare system? Health consequences in Louisiana include a 14.1% diabetes rate and higher than average mortality from cardiovascular disease. The state's unique geography contributes to the problem, with extensive food deserts in both rural and urban areas. Louisiana's rich cultural heritage, while celebrated worldwide, also plays a role. Traditional Cajun and Creole cuisine is often high in fats and carbohydrates, and cultural celebrations frequently center around food. Louisiana has responded with programs like Well Ahead Louisiana and the Complete Streets, an initiative to promote healthier environments. The state is also home to the Pennington Biomedical Research Center, a leading facility developing evidence-based obesity interventions. Here's something that might surprise you. Despite Louisiana's high obesity rates, the state's food environment paradoxically includes some of the most acclaimed restaurants in the country. This highlights the complex relationship with food that goes beyond simple access issues. Alabama. Alabama holds the fifth position with an obesity rate of 39.2% to 39.4%. The state has seen consistent increases over the past decade, with significant racial disparities. 36% of white adults have obesity compared to 45% of black adults. Over 21% of children and teenagers in Alabama are also affected. The health toll is substantial, with a 15.2% diabetes rate and one of the highest heart disease death rates in the nation. 234 deaths per 100,000 population. Alabama also has the fourth highest stroke mortality rate nationally. What do you think contributes to these regional health disparities? Alabama's challenges include rural isolation in many counties, limited public transportation, and significant food deserts in both rural and urban areas. With a 16.1% poverty rate and declining manufacturing sector jobs, many residents struggle to afford healthy food options. The economic impact is staggering. Obesity and overweight caused a $7.2 billion reduction in Alabama's economy in 2022, equivalent to 2.6% of the state's GDP. This includes 68,800 fewer adults in the workforce due to obesity-related unemployment and premature death. The state has implemented several initiatives, including Scale Back Alabama, a statewide weight loss competition that has resulted in over 1.4 million pounds lost by participants since its inception. Did you know that Alabama's obesity rates correlate strongly with historical agricultural patterns? Counties that historically grew cotton have higher obesity rates today than counties that grew more diverse crops. A fascinating connection between historical economic patterns and modern health outcomes. Oklahoma. The health consequences are significant. With high diabetes rates, particularly among tribal populations, elevated cardiovascular disease mortality, and nearly 40% of adults having high blood pressure. Oklahoma's rural landscape creates barriers to healthcare and healthy food access, and the state has high poverty rates in rural and tribal areas. Historical trauma in tribal communities also influences health behaviors, contributing to the complex web of factors affecting obesity rates. Oklahoma ranks 6th, with an obesity rate between 38.7% and 39%. The state saw a 4.6% increase from 34.8% to 36.4% in just 2 years, and is on path to becoming the most obese state by 2030 if current trends continue. Have you ever wondered how your state's health trajectory might look in the coming years? Oklahoma's Health for a Lifetime Obesity Prevention Plan takes a comprehensive approach to addressing these challenges. Oklahoma City offers a notable success story. The former mayor put the entire city on a diet, resulting in citizens collectively losing over 1 million pounds. Here's an interesting fact. Despite Oklahoma's high obesity rates, the state has some of the highest rates of participation in team sports among youth in the country. This highlights the complex relationship between organized athletics and overall physical fitness. This is something that other states can learn from Oklahoma. Iowa. Moving to the Midwest, Iowa has an obesity rate of 37.8% to 37.9%. While this is concerning, there's positive news. Iowa dropped from 7th to 11th place nationally, showing slight improvement. However, diabetes increased by 20% from 9.7% to 11.6% of adults between 2021 and 2022, indicating ongoing health challenges. Iowa's agricultural economy paradoxically contributes to obesity, with a heavy focus on corn and soybean production rather than food crops. The state's severe winter weather limits outdoor activity for months of the year, and the rural landscape means limited access to grocery stores in many areas. Did you know that despite being known as America's Corn Belt, Iowa imports more than 90% of the fruits and vegetables consumed in the state? This contributes to higher costs and reduced access to fresh produce. Obesity and overweight caused $5.7 billion reduction in Iowa's economy in 2022, equivalent to 2.5% of state GDP. On the positive side, maintaining a 5% reduction in weight among Iowa adults with obesity could save $3.9 billion in medical costs over the next decade. The state's Healthiest State initiative is working to mobilize communities to adopt healthy lifestyle changes, with demonstrable improvements in physical activity rates. How might reducing obesity impact your state's economy and healthcare costs? Indiana. Indiana ranks 8th with an obesity rate of 37.8%. The state has seen consistent increases over the past decade, with nearly 20% of children and teenagers affected as well. Health consequences include over 12% of adults having diabetes and 185 deaths per 100,000 population from heart disease. Indiana's industrial economy transitions have led to job loss in many communities, and the state has significant food deserts in both urban and rural areas. Car-dependent communities with limited walkability also contribute to the problem. The economic impact is substantial. Obesity and overweight caused a $9.3 billion reduction in Indiana's economy in 2022, equivalent to 2% of state GDP. This includes 69,400 fewer adults in the workforce due to obesity-related unemployment and premature death. The state's Indiana Healthy Weight Initiative takes a coordinated approach to addressing obesity. Here's something that might surprise you. Despite Indiana's high obesity rates, the state is home to one of the largest half marathons in the United States, known as the Indianapolis 500 Festival Mini Marathon, with over 30,000 participants annually. Have you ever participated in a community fitness event? They can be a great way to get motivated and connect with others who share your health goals. Tennessee. Tennessee holds the 9th position with an obesity rate of 37.6%. The state has seen steady increases over the past decade, with higher rates in rural counties and among lower-income populations. Over 20% of children and teenagers in Tennessee have obesity as well. Health consequences include a 14.4% diabetes rate and above-average cardiovascular disease mortality. Tennessee's varied topography creates access challenges, and the state has a 13.6% poverty rate, with significant income inequality between urban and rural areas. Notable initiatives include the University of Tennessee's implementation of the CDC's high obesity program in 7 counties and the Healthier Tennessee Initiative. McMinnville's obesity prescription program offers an innovative approach, with doctors providing wellness prescriptions for physical activity and nutrition guidance. Did you know that Tennessee has more state parks than most states in the Southeast and was one of the first to implement a parks prescription program, yet continues to have high obesity rates? This highlights the need for multifaceted approaches that go beyond simply creating resources. Have you ever visited your local parks for physical activity? They're often underutilized gems in our communities. Nebraska. Finally, Nebraska rounds out our list with an obesity rate of 36.6%. Interestingly, there's a large discrepancy between self-reported rates and medical records data, which shows significantly higher rates. If current trends continue, Nebraska's adult obesity rate is projected to increase to 51% by 2030. Nebraska's agricultural economy focuses on commodity crops like corn and soybeans rather than fruits and vegetables, and the state's extreme seasonal weather limits outdoor activity options. Rural isolation is a significant challenge, with many communities having limited access to healthcare and healthy food options. Here's a surprising fact. Despite Nebraska's agricultural prominence, many rural communities in the state qualify as food deserts, with residents having limited access to fresh produce. Does that surprise you? The state has implemented several initiatives, including the Nebraska Healthy Food Retail Act and the Husker Nutrition Program. Nebraska's Saludable Omaha Youth Initiative has shown success in South Omaha's Latino community, demonstrating how culturally tailored approaches can make a difference.
We've come to the saddest part of this situation, and it's the end of this cake. Parting is such sweet sorrow. See you later.
So what can we learn from looking at these 10 states? While each faces unique challenges, some common themes emerge. Food access issues, economic challenges, built environment limitations, and cultural factors play roles across all these states. And the economic impact is enormous, billions of dollars in healthcare costs and lost productivity. But there's also reason for hope. Communities across these states are implementing innovative solutions and seeing results. And the good news is that even modest weight loss can lead to significant health improvements. Losing just 5 to 10% of body weight can reduce the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and other obesity-related conditions. So, what can you do if you're concerned about obesity in your community or for yourself? First, focus on small, sustainable changes rather than drastic diets. Incorporate more movement into your daily routine. Even a 10-minute walk makes a difference. Look for community resources that might be available, from farmers markets to walking groups to free fitness classes. If you're a parent, you can help shape healthy habits for the next generation. Involve kids in preparing healthy meals, limit screen time, and make physical activity a family priority. And remember that weight isn't the only measure of health. Improving your habits benefits your health regardless of whether you lose weight. On a community level, consider getting involved with local initiatives. Advocate for better walking and biking infrastructure in your town. Support school wellness programs, or volunteer at a community garden. Every positive change, no matter how small, contributes to healthier communities. What steps will you take today to promote health for yourself and your community? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.